when you heard the news Sean Payton was suspended for the entire year, what was your reaction?
I was shocked. I expected him to receive a very stiff penalty, as I did with Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, just based off what you were hearing out of the league office. I did not expect a full year. But when you consider that they just suspended Greg Williams, who, by the way, is now the Rams defensive coordinator, so the Rams are penalized in this as well, indefinitely, Greg Williams is indefinite. I mean, he's missing this whole season. Then his situation will be reviewed. Well, then, Sean Payton, who is the ultimate supervisor over the football team, was already identified as being fully aware of the program and doing nothing about it. I guess we shouldn't be as shocked as we are. But to miss a full season as the head coach, these penalties, when you look across the board, and we haven't even gotten to the player penalties yet, are truly unprecedented. And if they were meant to set a statement of deterrence to the rest of the league, then I think Roger Goodell, who's been often described as having a heavy hand, just delivered not a hammer, but a sledgehammer.
And one more for you, Mort, on this topic. I'm curious. Obviously, the league wanted to come down hard for a number of reasons. Deterrent, yes. But what about the possibility of lawsuits from players who might have been involved in bounty games?
Well, hey, listen, that's been suggested. There's an element of this that may not make sense, and I think it's probably was argued. Does it make sense for Will Smith to be motivated by a $100 bounty when he knows on a quarterback when he knows he's going to get a $15,000 fine if he does it? So, football's a high-risk physical sport, anyways. I don't know if that was a major factor in this. The bottom line is that you have a commissioner who's and the Players Association who say they're trying to change the culture of the game, health and safety, high priority. We certainly know there are class action suits going around with concussions. When you have a program that apparently went on for 3 years. When they're during the investigation, they say that people who were interviewed were lying to investigators, and there were rules in place to prohibit both bounties for performance or bounties for harm, to inflict injury. So there's a lot of elements there that certainly violated the rules. And when you consider the culture change they're trying to accomplish, and I'll be honest with you, part of that culture change. Yes, it's related to injuries and all those things, but it's also related to eventually the business goal to trying to get to 18 games, an 18-game regular season. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but ultimately it was against the league constitution and bylaws, and a lot of individuals have paid the price. And the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, who would have been one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, and who are hosting the Super Bowl, have been hit very hard, as have the St. Louis Rams as the Jeff Fisher era begins, because Greg Williams, their defensive coordinator, will not be available the entire year and maybe even beyond that.
So I just want to clarify. Again, Greg Williams will not be the DC for the Rams, and you're saying he could be banned for life.
Well, indefinitely is indefinitely. What they've said is his situation will be reviewed at the end of the season, and obviously there's some conditions attached to the further investigations that the league will continue to make. So, banned for life, I guess indefinitely is indefinitely. It's obviously a big blow. I think there's a lot of people in shock around the league at this one.